showing you guys how to use PCG generation in Survival Game Kit V2 to create generating forests using PCG that you can harvest stuff from, like the resources wood, rocks, iron ore, etc. So we'll get into that today, and I'll show you guys how to do that. Right, so first things first, what you're going to do is go up to your files, or to edit, plugins, and just search PCG. I have them all enabled, but you really just need this one right here. This is for 5.5.1, Procedural Content Generation Framework. That's the only one you got to enable. You'll click that, it'll ask you to restart it, we'll load back up the editor. Alright, and once you're done with that, you'll be able to go to your content drawer, right click, and you should see PCG, and that should come up PCG graph and PCG instance, and that means that you did it correctly. So now we'll get into making the PCG graph, and then setting up how to get the static meshes in, and then setting up the resource collection. Alright, so first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to go into the Survival Game Kit, we're going to go into Blueprints, and you're going to want to right click and create a new folder, and you can just name it PCG. I've already done that. Then you can go into there, and you can right click, and you'll go down PCG and hit PCG graph, and then I just name it whatever you want. I'm going to name it PCG underscore resource. You can name it whatever, it doesn't really matter. Then you will enter into it. And we're not going to be using the input output. We are actually going to be using get landscape data, so you can right click and just type that in, get landscape data. And then we can drag off of there and get a surface sampler. And the same thing applies for grass, flowers, etc., bushes. Off of that, we're going to need transform sample, or transform point, sorry. There we go. And then bouncing off that, we'll need the static mesh spawner. There we go. And then we'll get the output. Okay. So once you have that, you're going to want to go over to your points per square is what's going to be for how dense you want it to be. And then this obviously is your XYZ for, again, how dense you want it. We'll head over to the static mesh spawner. We'll get back to that. We'll show the debug and all that. Alright, so what you're going to do is enter your static mesh spawner, find your mesh entries, and you want to just open that up. Add as many as you want. Depends on how many you're going to add. We're just going to do the trees, the berry bushes, and the rocks for this one, just to make it simple. I would normally do one for trees, one for rocks, etc., or kind of trees and bushes and smaller trees together, and then rocks, iron ore together. But for this, doesn't matter. So if we go enter into our 0 index, which is our first item, then you go to the descriptor, and then we're going to grab the static mesh. Go to Survival Game Kit, then go meshes, then static. We're looking for tree, which is somewhere in here, all the way at the bottom. Tree. We'll put that in there, and then what you're going to want to do is component class. You're going to want to scroll down until you see BP wood resource component, because that's going to be what you use to collect. And then you're going to want default collision on. And then when you go back, you should see that it renames it to SM tree 01. That means that you did it correctly. I'll do the same for this one. We'll do the small tree. For this one, you could either do the wood resource. I'm going to do fiber, just because that's the way it's set up at the moment. So we're going to grab that. And then make sure you do collision. And if I close that, see small tree. And then we're going to do the berry bush, which is right here. Then here, berry resource. I think I scrolled by collision. There it is. Use default collision. There's also collision presets. I don't really mess with them because it doesn't matter. Alright, so once you have those three things, we can save this. And then we can minimize it. And if we come over to here, hit this, go back to here, go to your blueprints, your PCG resource, drop it in, and there you go. So it'll spawn in, and then like I said, you can edit. Here, I'm going to put this right here. You can edit the surface sampler, so if I wanted to do 0.05, and then save that. You see they get a little more. Actually, I'll slide this off to the side so you guys can see it a little more live. We do like 0.1. See that adds more. We can do 0.25. Oh. And it kind of packs them in there, which is fine. There's also some other settings you can do to kind of make it look a little more natural, by messing with the looseness, messing with seed a little bit, messing with points. That's all something that you can go ahead and do in your own time. And just to show that it works, I'm going to make sure I got a clear pathway, which I do. I'll save this real quick, then we can hop in. We're just going to need a backpack and an axe. Run over here, grab that. Run over here, grab that. Then we'll run all the way down and through. This is just the example one. Just run through here. This is the one we made. As you can see, if you run up to here, collect the berries. Got the tree. See, we're collecting wood. I'm gonna make sure that the animation plays and this falls, which it does. And then you can see over here, when we collect, we get the plant fibers and the animation plays, and we're done. So there you go. So not that hard. And then if you want to do like grass, all you have to do would be copy these like this, drop them down here. You would add in a merge points, and you would route this through here and then out to here. And then you could, well, actually, you should probably break all pin links and just run it through here and through here. And then you would change your static mesh spawner to be the grass. I don't have a grass one at the moment because I'm still deciding, but that would be how you would do it. So there you go. That right there is how you spawn your resources. It's that easy. And that's with the new 5.5.1 update of Unreal Engine, as they took away the landscape node in the input. And this is how they do it now with the get landscape. So not a big deal. If you're doing like flowers and stuff, you can add the noise node. But yeah, that should be it. And now you have PCG resource generation in survival game. Have a good one.